So today I thought we would make a 1 pound loaf of your basic white bread in the KBS bread machine. Hello, bread machine lovers, bakers, homemakers. Welcome to Butterfly Meadows Homestead, where hearts are warmed and bodies are nourished. So the other day I had someone ask me if I had made a 1 pound loaf in the larger KBS bread machine. They had heard that they didn't turn out very well. And I usually use my smaller bread machine when I make a 1 pound loaf. So today I thought we would make a 1 pound loaf of your basic white bread in the KBS bread machine to demonstrate how to do that and how it turns out. First, let's go over the ingredients you're going to need to make this 1 pound loaf of bread. You're going to need 1.5 cups of bread flour. You're going to need 1/3 of a cup of powdered milk. Now, if you don't have powdered milk, you can leave the powdered milk out and replace the water with milk. And we have 2 tablespoons of white sugar. I have a 1/2 teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt, 1 teaspoon of yeast, and this is active yeast or instant yeast. Either one will work just fine. And I have 1.5 tablespoons of canola oil. You can use any kind of oil you want. And I have 3/4 of a cup of room temperature filtered water. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my paddle and I'm going to dip it into my oil, because you want to oil this paddle and stem so that hopefully we remember to take the paddle out. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to pour in our water, our sugar, our yeast, and our salt, and our dry milk, and our oil. Then we're going to put our flour right on top. Then we're going to put it in the KBS bread machine. So we are going to be using the menu option number 1, which is soft bread on the KBS bread machine. We are going to go to the 1-pound loaf size. And for the color of the crust, I am going to select light, because this is a 1-pound loaf and I don't want it to overbake. And so that might help you if your 1-pound loaves are not coming out well in your KBS bread machine. Choose the light color, because this is less bread, less dough and everything, and so we don't want it to overbake. Then we are going to hit start. And after this mixes for a couple of minutes, we're going to decide if we need to add any liquid or any flour. Now, as you can see, this dough ball looks a little bit dry, but we are going to let it mix for a few minutes before we decide if it actually is dry. The ingredients have been mixing for about a minute, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the machine. I'm just going to let it rest for about 5 minutes, and this just helps the ingredients to come together and the dough ball to autolyze. So our dough has been resting for about 5 minutes. We're going to turn the machine back on. We're just going to let that mix and see how it looks after about 3 or 4 more minutes. So our dough ball has been mixing for another 4 or 5 minutes, and I just wanted to show you what it looks like. And I'm going to pause it here for a moment. I am not going to add any more liquid because it is getting smoother. Hopefully you can tell that it is getting smoother. And see how, let me start it up again and pause it. So watch when I pause it, how the dough kind of relaxes a little bit. So it's not too stiff. And as it continues to knead, it will be just fine. See how it's a good texture. There are no dry, floury places, and I don't want to get too much water in it. So there is 1 hour and 35 minutes left on our 1 pound loaf, and the machine has just done the knockdown before the final rise. And now is the time we want to take the batter out, the paddle out. So I'm just going to move the dough ball over and take out the paddle, and you're going to want to reshape your dough ball because that's going to influence the shape of your bread. And I'm just going to push that down just a little bit. Okay, so we have removed the paddle and reshaped our dough ball. And we have 1 hour and 34 minutes left. Our bread has finished. We're ready to get it out of the bread machine. Now, whenever you take your pan out of your bread machine, you want to make sure that the bread is not stuck. And I always just give it a little shake. And so this is not moving around when I shake it. So I'm going to sit it here and cover it up and leave it for about 5 minutes. And this will help the bread to release from the pan so that it doesn't tear when we take it out of the pan. Okay, so we let our bread sit in the pan for about 5 or 10 minutes. And now when I shake it, it's loose in the pan. And that's how I know it's not going to stick. And it just came right out. You don't want to leave it too long in the pan because it will sweat. Now, this is a short little loaf because this is a long pan, not an upright pan. And it's only a 1 pound loaf. So as you can see, it's kind of short. But it is only a 1 pound loaf, but it looks really good, and we're going to let it cool just a little bit, and then we will slice into it and see what the crumb looks like. Our loaf has cooled a little bit. It's still a little warm. We are going to slice into it and see what it looks like on the inside. And we have an absolute beautiful crumb on this loaf of bread. Hopefully you can see this. It's a nice crumb on this bread. So as for the question, how does the large KBS bread machine do making a 1 pound loaf? I would say it does an excellent job. As far as how it did with the bread, it did an excellent job. I just recommend using the light crust setting if you're making a 1 pound loaf in the KBS 17-in-1 or 19-in-1 bread machine. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment below and let me know if you did. If you have not subscribed, please consider doing so. And like the video and share it with your friends. I'm so glad you dropped by today. God bless. Bye-bye.